Yeah, I was a correction officer. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Today we're gonna talk about seeing somebody that you know while working in the prison. Yeah, it's most likely gonna happen to you. If you've been working in the correction setting for any amount of time, don't matter where you're from, if you work there long enough, you're most likely gonna see somebody that you know. Now, it happened to me a lot of times, and now I'm gonna tell you like this: there are rules that you should follow. Follow your rules. Don't do what I did. I'm only gonna tell you on my experience. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you to go against what you been told to do. I'm only talking about my experience. So that's it. Don't say that I told you that this is how you handle it. But I come from a small town, and you're guaranteed to see somebody that you know. Now, from what I see most of the time, if you're from, let's say, the east, they're gonna probably ship you to the west. Vice versa. If you're from the west, they're probably gonna ship you to the east. The prison that I worked at, it was like you have to go there if you got in trouble while you was at prison. So I mean, it's just what it was. I mean, it don't matter where you're from. If you get in enough trouble, you're going to end up where I was, maximum security. And so the first time that I saw somebody, let me back up. They always going to tell you in training how to handle this situation. And it's going to freak you out the first time. At least it freaked me out because I just didn't know, how it would go. The first time that I saw somebody, I was going around feeding the inmates. And when I looked up, I looked at this dude's face and I knew him. Like, you know how when you see somebody you be like, is that so and so? And it was so and so. I looked at him and he looked at me. He did like this and I did like this. And I kept it moving. I'm like, dang, I think that was so and so. So I went back after we got done and I looked on the board or the roster to tell us who was all located where we were working at, and it was him. It was my classmate. We went to school together. I knew that he had got in trouble, but I didn't know he was there. But he didn't say nothing to me. Initially, when you see somebody you're supposed to report that because now that person could kind of weigh on you or persuade you to do stuff that you wouldn't normally do, or that person could he could know information about you. He or she, they could know information about you, and it's just not good to be working in that same environment. For my case, he didn't say nothing to me. I ain't say nothing to him. I didn't feel like it was a threat. Now, if I would have felt like it was a threat, I probably would have reported it, and I got a story about that too. So, me and his interaction was just that. He spoke to me, I spoke to him. Even anytime we was on the wing, he would address me appropriately. I would address him appropriately. Like it was nothing out of the way. It was nothing. He was trying to do his time. That's what he was trying to do. He wasn't trying to bother me. I wasn't trying to bother him. We knew each other, and that's how I handled it. Right or wrong, that's how I handled it. I didn't feel like it was a threat. And I'm gonna tell you, this happened to me plenty of times. Yeah, it happened. It happened over 10, 15 times. Another time, I was feeding again, and this incident I had to report because this guy. You're gonna meet some silly people in your life. It don't matter if they go to prison. They still might be silly when they get in there. I mean, it ain't gonna change. But I was feeding again, and the next thing I know, I hear somebody calling my nickname. Like, they calling me like they knew me. They calling me like they knew me. And I'm like, man, what's up, man? Why you calling my name like that? Because he said my nickname, and then he called me Kruger at the same time. And then he was like, hey, Kruger, that's you. Hey, and then he calling me my nickname again. I'm like, man, what's wrong with this dude? So I'm like, see, that's a problem right there. That type of interaction, you don't want that type of interaction because that's not good for you. So, I mean, what can you do? I went along with it. I finished doing what I was doing. And when I was done, I had to call my lieutenant. I was like, hey, I know somebody on this place, blah, blah, blah. And then I followed the procedure. And they actually moved me because they couldn't move him. So it's unique where I was working, so they had to move me. Why would you even call my name like that? I mean, that could be a problem. That could be a security problem. That could be a problem for you. It could just be bad all the way around. So those type of people, yeah, you want to kind of avoid. You want to avoid them. It happened to me so many times, like this one institution, and I could say it at least 5 times it happened to me. I think I was really like the only person that I had to report. I think so. Now I did see another guy, and he knew me, and I knew him. I knew of him, but he kind of knew who I was, but I really didn't know too much about him. But he knew a lot about me. I was kind of young when he was around and before he went to prison, so he kind of really knew a lot about me. He approached me. He was like, "Hey, ain't you?" I like, "Yeah," cause I ain't gonna lie. Like, "Yeah, that's me." So he talked a little while, and I talked back to him, and I like, "All right." I say, "Hey, but these kind of conversations ain't gonna happen no more." You know, I had to say it like that because if you don't put certain things in check at first, they're gonna roll you in. And I was always mindful when I was around that person. I'm watching to see what happened or to see if it happened again, but never another conversation out the way. And I was lucky with that. You know, I could just say that I didn't have a whole bunch of bad experiences while working at the prison, but that was that. And that's how I handled each and every situation. I felt like if you were going to be a threat, then I might go ahead and say something because I don't need nothing getting in the way of me. I don't need my name mixed up in nothing. And honestly, I don't need to lose my job behind you. You get what I'm saying? Like, what I learned from those situations are, yeah, people they're gonna be happy to know you, but you gotta remember the reason you there. And the reason I was there is because I had a family to take care of, and I couldn't let nothing get in the way of that. You could look at it or judge it how you want, but that's what it was with me. I had to take care of my family. So another incident was when I was working at a reception center. Now I worked at the female reception center, so I mean anybody that went to prison in the state of Florida as far as a female, they come through there, they're gonna come through where I worked at. I seen so many people there. So many people like that I knew. And I come from a small town, so I seen classmates. I seen I seen one lady who used to go with my uncle. I saw her and let me tell you about another one. And sometimes people just gonna be super excited to see you, but like they gonna like you can't do certain things, you know. So this time it was my cousin. I saw my cousin come to prison. I don't think she knew I worked there. I didn't even know that she had gotten in trouble, and I haven't seen my cousin in a long time. But when I saw her, we were actually feeding chow, and I looked. I was like, "Is that?" And I was looking, and it was her. It was her. It was showing up her. And I saw her, but I didn't say nothing. And I was just waiting to see. I always kind of wait to see if people gonna notice me. And if they notice me, I try to check their reaction. And if their reaction cool, cool, we cool. But if their reaction is like this, I got to say something. Because at the end of the day, I got to look out for me and mine. I saw her in the chow hall. I didn't say anything. And then later on that day, I saw her at medical. So I walked in the medical office. And as soon as I walked in, somebody called me by my whole entire government name. And I just looked. I said, "What's up?" So I spoke to them back with their whole name. I mean, this person obviously know me. I obviously know this person. So I went ahead and had a conversation. I was like, "Hey, how you doing? What you doing here? Blah, blah, blah." They told me what they was doing. They told me how long they had. I was like, "But I say, now, you know, I got to report you." I say, because we can't be on the same compound like this, especially when you done said my whole name. I know you. It's obvious that we know each other, and it's obvious that it's a problem. So I had to do what I had to do. I had to go ahead and say, hey, I know this person, and follow the procedures after that. Now, at this place, I didn't have to move because they were able to move her. And that's what they did. I like, you could have at least just nodded or something and said hello. You didn't have to say my whole name. Like, now these people know my name. Man, and then when I told her that, I heard another inmate say, "Oh, you finna go." And it was true. And it's not funny, but what is funny is like, why would you even think it's okay to say my full name or to address me like that? You didn't say, "Hey, Mister," "Hey, Officer," "Hey, sir." You said my whole name. I don't know. That was it. So that's how I handled those situations. And like I said, you have to follow the right procedure. You have to do what is best for you. Don't listen to me. I'm just telling you how I handled it. And most of the time, when I did see somebody, other than those two extreme scenarios were the ones that I remember mainly. And I don't remember having too many other interactions like that where people kind of like, where people knew me. I had some interactions where people kind of knew me and they kind of inquired about it. But you know, they had their ways of trying to say stuff. And I ain't gonna even lie. One time somebody was like, "Hey, didn't we go to school together?" I like, "Yep." I just told him, "Yeah." I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, if it's obvious, yeah, I'm gonna tell you. But if you try to pry for anything else, I'm gonna let you know, hey, try me like that again, or you try to bring up this type of conversation again, it ain't gonna be good. So that's how I handled it. I ain't telling you how to handle it. I'm just telling you how I handled it. But one of the most shocking things that you see while you in prison, like you may not necessarily know the person, but like if you saw the person on TV, that is crazy. It was two places, well, two cases that I remember seeing the people on TV at the female, but at the male I saw quite a few. Like I saw quite a few people in there that was on TV, and it kind of baffles you a little bit. Like, dang, I know your story. But the most extreme case that I saw while working in the prison, somebody that was on TV, they made a Lifetime movie about this lady. I was like, wow. And this is like a recent Lifetime movie. So, and the story is so crazy because I followed her trial. I followed her trial because her trial was so old. Like, basically, she kidnapped the girl and raised her. That's all I'm going to say. You figure out the rest. But I remember seeing that when it first happened on the news, like when I was just getting out of high school. I remember seeing that on the news. And then they find this lady almost 20 years later. Now she popular again. And now this lady walked in the prison where I am. That was wild. And then they make a movie about her. Like, it's crazy. Like, you'll see some wild stuff. And that's the most extreme case that I saw. Like, somebody that I knew, but like she was borderline kind of popular, famous or whatever, because of her case. Her case was very, very famous and very large in Florida, and I just remembered it. That was about it. Oh, Billy Bob Thornton's daughter. I saw her. I didn't even know that. I mean, that's just how everybody, they spread the news. That's Billy Bob Thornton's daughter. I saw her. That's just a little story, a little, how I handled the situation when I knew people in prison or I saw them. And I once again, I sound like a broken record. I ain't telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I did. So that's all I got to say. Drop me some comments in the comment section. Hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate y'all. Talk to you later.